everyone, this is Emmy. Today I'm going to show you how to knit this very easy unisex cowl. So let's get started. I'm working with 6mm knitting needles and Bernat yarn. And then I'm going to cast on the number of stitches I need for the size that I'm making. And I'm using a method that I call Grandmother's Easy Cast On, but I guess it's just the long tail method. And if you want a clearer description of how to do this, I will post a link below for my video on how to cast on. And it's just a repetition of 4 rows of ribbing, knit 2, purl 2, 6 rows of stockinette stitch, 6 rows of garter, 6 rows of stockinette, 6 rows of garter, 6 rows of stockinette, and then 4 rows of knit 2, purl 2. So I'll start with the ribbing row, and it's knit 2, and then we're going to purl, so bring the yarn over to the side, and then I'm going to knit 2, and purl 2. Okay, so that's the first row, and you're going to repeat that for 3 more rows. Now I'm working knitting it flat and then sewing up a seam, but you can use these circular needles and work around and around. So knit 2, 1, 2, purl 2. Knit 2, and purl 2. Okay, so you work 2 more rows of ribbing. Okay, so that's this bottom band, and there you go, that's my rows of ribbing. So now I'm going to change to stockinette stitch. To work the stockinette stitch, knit 1 row. So knit every stitch across the row. Like that. If you're working flat, you will turn. If you're working circular, you won't turn. You'll continue to work, but you will not purl the row. You will knit the row. So I'm going to purl this row because I'm working it flat. So purl each stitch across the row. Okay, so that's the stockinette stitch, and it's knit 1 row, purl 1 row, and that's this section here, and that will give you this smooth section on the front. So I'm going to go ahead and do 4 more rows, and then I'll come back and show you how to do this section. Okay, I've gone ahead and worked a few more rows of stockinette stitch, and that is this section right here. So we have our ribbing, and we have the first section of stockinette stitch, and now I'm going to work 6 rows of garter stitch, which means I knit every row. There are no purl rows in this section, it's only knit rows. And then after that it's just a repeat: stockinette, garter, stockinette, and then 4 rows of ribbing. So to work the garter stitch, you knit every row, so it's just knit every row. So I'm going to knit across the row. I knit it across that row, knit across the next row, And you can see how that's forming a ridge, and that's the ridges. So then I'll go on ahead and do this stockinette section, another garter stitch, and another stockinette stitch. And then after you do your 4 rows of ribbing, you cast off. So I'll show you how to cast off. So to cast off, you knit the first stitch, you knit the next stitch, then you pull the previous stitch over and off the needle, knit the next stitch, pull the previous stitch over and off the needle. And you're going to continue that all the way across the row. When you've done your last stitch, you simply cut off the yarn and pull it through the last loop. And when you have your cowl finished, you're going to fold it in half like this and sew a seam to form a tube. So I have my yarn end threaded into a yarn needle, and I'm going to come across to the other side. And look for the yarn that runs across like this. So pass the needle under that bar, and then come over to the other side, and again find the bar. There's the bar. And then come over to this other side, find the next bar, there it is. Come back over to the other side and find the bar. And you'll keep doing that all the way up. And there's the bar. Like that, and you'll work all the way up. And I have a video on how to make your own tags, and I'll put the link below for how to do that. So there you go, that's how easy it is to knit this unisex cowl. I hope you enjoyed this video. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.